Start the show!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are Monolith. And we're going to do one big long scene for you, basically. What we need, though, to get us kicked off is a place where you gather, or an occasion you gather for.
Funeral.
That's the word.
Funeral. I heard funeral. Very loud and proud. Monolith presents Funeral.
It's a shame. It is a shame. Marvin Worthington was a great man. I just wish I knew more about him. You always sum it up so well. I just wish I knew more about this great man. Mostly because I have to give the eulogy. Beatrice. I know you're a nun. I look to you sometimes in times of great spiritual struggle for myself. I just feel like, as a priest, I should give some kind of sweeping send-off for this great man. I just don't know any. There's nothing. I've been searching the internet for hours. It's like this man is a ghost, in the sense that he didn't. Of course. Your prayer reads mean a lot to me. I'm praying right now that when you get through this, no one notices that I don't use any specific nouns. Oh Lord, I come to you as a humble servant of the cloth. Me and Beatrice here both come to you. We come to you before you here in the church of holy silence. We come to you to ask forgiveness for what we're about to do. We are about to give the worst eulogy I or anyone else has ever given. And we hope no one notices.
Mom, I know I'm Marvin Jr., but I've never lived up to that name. I don't know what to say.
Listen, son. Your father was a piece of shit. I'm sorry, Lord, but he was. Alright?
No, come on.
No, he was!
He was the greatest man I knew. What have you been talking about?
Right, you know, like we tried to play cool around you, but the fact is, you realize your father ran a criminal organization.
I hardly think Trader Joe's is a criminal. Yeah, some things are a bit overpriced, but it's not Whole Foods.
Alright, really think he would make all that money from managing in Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's was just a front for his drug smuggling ring.
Drugs, mother, come on. This is hard to imagine. Martin Sr.? Come on, Mom. I understand that this death has been tough on you, but you don't have to kick him while he's down.
Kick him all. Do you realize what he's done to me? All right.
No, what are you talking about? He always made us eat healthy and organic. Before it was even in style. I know, it's annoying, but you know.
I don't want to go into all the things that he's done, but let's just say I had to smuggle some drugs for him, and you can't hide it in your purse. Listen, I'm personally glad he's gone.
What?
Well, you know, we no longer have to do any of his dirty work.
Dirty? I don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, what?
All right, you don't believe me? Here. Do you know what this is?
No?
It's heroin.
What?
Don't drop it. It's like a grand's worth of heroin.
This is a lot for me to wrap my head around. Are you telling me that the father I knew, the loving, caring, supportive man who taught me how to ride a bike, he taught me how to throw a baseball, taught me how to throw a good spiral, bought me my first hooker. Are you telling me that he's a drug dealer?
Well, he did buy you a hooker. And the only reason he did all that other stuff was because I made him. Like, the only way I would sleep with him is if he was a good father. Right?
Well, there's
I mean, I would have slept with him anyway, but I told him specifically, no anal unless he...
Come on! There's so many of this that I don't want to hear. Or think about. Or envision. Listen, I just want to think about... you're blowing my mind here. I can't close my eyes anymore. I just keep seeing anal. I just got to keep my eyes open all the time.
Honey, I know this is hard, okay?
My eyes are really dry. So it's all a front?
Yes.
I thought that it might be a good time to come over and meet the family.
There's really never a time to bring Sister Beatrice here.
Sister Beatrice is a treasured part of the holy silence.
Not when they come up from behind. I'm sorry, sister, but...
Well, I just wanted to come over here and give you my condolences, Mrs. Warren. Your husband was a man. And all men... Yes, thank you, sister. And like all men... He was a man.
Listen, Father...
You're saying so much.
Thank you. I try to give solace to those who are grieving for
I can tell you put a
men
lot of,
and women.
I can tell you put a lot of thought in this.
I did.
Is this just a pamphlet?
Now, Sister Beatrice, I told you to not give out promotional material.
It's mostly blank.
The Sisters of the Holy Silence are running a little bake sale to help the homeless.
It's literally a pamphlet that just says bread pudding.
The Sisters of the Holy Silence are women of few words.
Or not words.
If you turn onto the back, there's a sad, bearded man who looks like he hasn't showered today.
Okay?
that's not important. I mean, if you do want to give some food or money for the bake sale,
Of course, yeah.
But this is about your father.
Yeah, apparently we got a lot of money to give.
And the Church of the Holy Silence appreciates your massive donation.
And we're going to stay mostly silent about the money, you know.
You made a joke. Jokes help with grieving. Every once in a while, I like to, in my sermons, throw in a little joke into my sermons.
I've noticed that, Father. I know it's been a while since I've... Father, right?
Yes. I know you don't come to church very much.
Not often. Not often.
We accept all kinds here.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. You know, if any of you need to talk your feelings out, I'm always here.
You know, Father,
Why you in a bag?
I know you don't know a lot about my former husband, and I was asked by some of his colleagues that you read the speech as his eulogy.
Thank you, Sister Beatrice. This means a lot.
I know, it's... You know,
I mean, it means a lot for a man of such stature. 5'11", medium build.
oh, that's just a dating profile I printed out, you know. Getting started early.
No.
This is the actual... That's the eulogy that my husband's colleagues asked me to give to you. Listen, I don't want to, like, frighten you at all, but if you don't read that speech word for word, there could be some real consequences.
So did you just give me a wafer and there's no wine to go with it?
I have to admit, there are a lot of references to a moving product.
Yeah, you know, Trader Joe's, my husband was really efficient.
$2 Chuck, you know.
Sister Beatrice, do you have something to say? Welcome.
Father, could we actually have a little moment?
Oh, yes.
Just alone.
Yeah, no, that is perfectly okay.
Thank you.
This is not a Buddhist.
I didn't know what to do.
No, it is fine. We accept all kinds here.
Oh, thank you. Is that what I do when I leave? When you leave? Is it there?
We're not praying to me.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Well, let's sit. Let's go over.
Oh, yeah.
Sister
okay.
Beatrice, would you attend to Miss Worthington? Make her comfortable. Wipe her tears.
So here's where the line is.
So, okay, Father, forgive me for I've sinned. I haven't been here in a while.
It is fine. This is not a formal confession, although everything he says will not leave this room.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Although I am told your mother has very good ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perhaps we should step a little farther this way.
I don't know that anything I'm going to say, so Father, I'm having a really tough time My mother gave me some information about my father that...
Information?
Yeah, she said some things that I just... I don't feel comfortable divulging it right now. But...
That's fine. All things in due time.
Yeah.
All information comes out eventually.
Just
in the eyes of God, of course.
Well, you know, I guess he knows anyway.
You know how we fell in love? we met at a cafe, and he was sitting near me, and I overheard two men talking, and I could tell they were talking about him because they were describing what he looked like. You know, he has a mustache. It's a very sexy, like back when mustaches were sexy. Like they're not really sexy anymore. Now it's kind of like creepy a little bit. But they were describing him. You know, his dark hair, his mustache, his like build. Yeah, and I realized they were talking about him, so I let them know they were talking about him, and then out of nowhere, those two men get shot.
So tell me a little bit more about your feelings.
I just don't know who this man is now. I mean, I grew up with this loving, boisterous father, you know? He was a true father figure. He was a textbook, but you know, my mom's saying he was a terrible person. I can't reconcile the man I've known for 33 years with what she's saying. I don't know what to do with it.
You know, I thought it was really weird at first. You know, all the random people dying around us. I thought it was just kind of like a coincidence. You know? But, I mean, he felt like he couldn't hide it from me anymore, so one day he just kind of confessed that he was a drug czar, essentially. I don't know what you called him, but he ran the heroin ring, like in the southeast. It was, and I'm not holding right now. I left my purse over there.
If you believe that your father was a good man, then, and he was a good man to you, regardless of the information that might have been divulged, he is still your father. Now, I'm sure that some in the congregation might be shocked of some of the things that they might learn about me.
Nobody's perfect.
No, no one is.
Well, listen, my dad, he was always there. He was at all of my soccer games. Granted, he was always off talking to guys in weird outfits and sunglasses most of the time during the game, who would then drive off in their 40 cars. But I feel like, you know, these are just guys he was telling to stop staring at the kids. I didn't know. I was 6. Shifty characters, now that I think about it.
It was just a stupid girl, you know. I was like, he could give me anything I wanted. You know, if I wanted a dress, it didn't matter how expensive that dress was. I could get it. Any piece of jewelry, I would get it. Any cocaine that I just felt like snoring, I could get it. I'm not holding right now. I told you.
I mean, that really explains why I got so mad when what I thought was dishwasher detergent. He started yelling at me. And then the time I thought I had some Goody's headache powder, he was like, "No, don't take that!" My headache went away, though.
My son, in spite of this information that you have learned, do you still love your father?
Definitely.
You know, I'm actually going to kind of miss him. Who are you waiting at? Is it someone you're interested in? I didn't know nuns were like that.
So, who speaks first? Do I speak and then you speak?
Well, yes, that can be this funeral. Your father didn't really make many arrangements. Like a lot of men, he assumed he would live forever. Always pushing off making the will, planning these type of things, because they don't want to think about it.
I do remember him always shouting when I was trying to get to sleep at night, "I'm gonna live forever! This is my territory!"
I mean, it does make it a little difficult for some men of the cloth who must prepare for their actual passing, but this is a burden that I bear willingly.
You know, every now and then he would be really sweet. Like this one anniversary, we made a cake together. Yeah, no, yeah, it was. You're not going to believe this, but it was a Cadbury egg cake. Yeah, right? Right? It was amazing. I didn't think it was possible, but you know, with enough money, you can make a Cadbury egg cake. And you know, we just got each other covered in that Cadbury egg cream. It was just like all over our clothes. And one thing led to another, and that's how he made my son.